All right, so the first part of the assignment was to continue to work at bringing workability, freedom, and possibility to the areas of life that you rated low on the scale of workability. As part of the assignment, you were to work on any areas that up until now you had put off and to really take those on and take action. And then how you were to bring workability, freedom, and possibility to those areas was to either clean up a mess you made by not keeping your promises or agreements, or by relating to someone from standards and ideals and not from your principles and values. And then the second part of the assignment was, with 3 relationships you rated low on the scale of workability, to have a conversation where you committed to restoring integrity and having a breakthrough in those relationships. And then as always, you were to continue to enroll yourself and others in the possibilities you were inventing for yourself in your life. So notice it's not just enrolling others. I just heard that. So it's enrolling yourself. Enrolling yourself is as important, because if you're not enrolled in the possibilities you're inventing, how in the heck do you think anybody else will be? So if you're not enrolled, I'd create a different possibility. And don't stop until you're left touched, moved, and inspired by what you created.
Don't try to share if you're not enrolled.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, it'll be weird. Like, why would I want to come to that? That wasn't inspiring at all. All right, so let's just first complete the integrity of the assignment. So if you did the assignment, just raise your hand to acknowledge that you did the assignment. All right, and then if you did not complete the assignment, all aspects of it, raise your hand to acknowledge that. Okay, great. Thank you for acknowledging that. And use the conversation we just had regarding having the assignments exist for you in an empowering way. So it's just not a thing to do. It's your access to actually fulfilling the intention of the seminar in your life. All right, so who'd like to share from doing the assignment on bringing workability to an area of life or restoring integrity in a relationship? Yeah, Maggie. Oh, yes, definitely want to hear yours.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
Oh, I forgot.
I can't hear.
We can't wait.
We want to hear what you have to
what
say.
happened.
Okay, right.
Well, assuming it's what you shared about last week, I shouldn't make that assumption.
Right, okay. No, I kept my promise that I made last week, and I talked to David, and I talked to my 2 therapists, and anyway. So I made an appointment, a request to meet with my former partner and her new lover at the home that my former partner and I shared. And to
Now, just get that part of it, okay? She made an appointment to meet with her former partner and her partner's new lover at the home you lived in for how many years?
6 years.
For 6 years.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was Friday, and I was very nervous. They tried to change the arrangements twice, but I held my ground and just said, no, this is my request. This is how I want to do it. You don't need to, it was like they were really afraid that I was going to show up armed, and I'm not kidding.
No, but really, like,
They
yeah.
really were afraid.
Yeah.
Because of course I've been hurt and angry, so there was some justification for that. A little extreme reaction, but okay. So I did show up. Sally greeted me at the door. I hugged her, and we went into the library and sat down to have a conversation. I wrote a script because I knew that if I didn't follow my thinking, that I could be derailed, and I didn't want that opportunity. So essentially what I said was, I started out by making sure that we all understood that I wasn't there to accuse anybody of anything or to blame anybody for anything. I said, there's nothing wrong here. I'm here because I need to get clear of my role, my responsibility in my relationship with Sally. And so I went ahead and talked about what I came to realize in this very short week that I had a story that was started when I was very young, 5 years old. My mother was an alcoholic, and my father had just started flying for Pan Am, and he was leaving us, myself, I was the oldest, and my younger sister. And then when he would leave, of course, my mother would drink and become crazy. I didn't know she was an alcoholic, I didn't see her drinking, but her behavior was incredibly crazy and abusive and neglectful and so on and so forth. I was 5, and my father came in his uniform to say goodbye to me, sat down on the bed and said, "I'm leaving." And I said, "Daddy, you can't leave. She's crazy." And he said, "I have to go." And so he left. At that point, you don't know what happens to you at that moment, but what did happen was I realized I was not valued. I was not valued by my father, I wasn't valued by my mother.
Okay, just
and-
pause right there, because that didn't happen.
Thank you.
That part didn't happen.
Thank you, that's my story.
I know.
Okay.
So you didn't realize that you weren't valued.
No,
But that's what we do.
that's what we.
That's the revision of history. You didn't, especially at 5 years old. Oh my gosh, I just had this realization, I'm not valued. But something did happen.
Something happened, yes.
And you said what?
And I said, nobody loves me. I am not lovable. I am not worth being loved. And I don't believe anybody who tells me they love me.
Okay.
Because how could that be possible?
Okay, I got that. And again, look, I don't know that you said that as a 5-year-old.
No.
So so there you are right there in that situation. What would a 5-year-old have said?
Oh, I knew that I could not depend on any adult and that I would have to take care of myself.
And you
So
said that?
I would.
I
knew
want
that.
to get it clear, because
Okay.
this is the key to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so just get yourself right there. So there you are. You're on the bed. You said you're on the bed. You're in the bedroom.
Yeah.
You're okay. Your daddy comes and he says, "Okay, I'm going," and you say, "No, Daddy, you can't go.
Can't
She's
go.
crazy."
Right.
And he said, "No, I have to go. Maggie, I have to go. I'm going." And you said what?
Please don't go.
Please don't go.
Please don't go. Yeah. And he went.
And then you said what?
There's nobody there. There's nobody to help me. There's nobody to take care of me.
Yeah. Now that I can get as a 5-year-old.
Yeah. There's nobody to take care of me. I'm alone. I'm alone, and I have to deal with this myself. I have to take care of myself
Got that.
because I can't depend on anybody.
That might have come later, but
Okay.
I'm alone.
I'm
And
alone,
certainly get.
and nobody loves me. My
Yeah.
daddy doesn't love
My
me.
daddy doesn't love me. That's the saying of a 5-year-old.
Yes, my daddy doesn't love me. Yes.
Yeah. Got it.
So, nobody loves
Enter the relationship.
me. Yes. Enter the relationship of 10 years. And so
Where nobody loves you.
where nobody loves me. So Sally, who is an extraordinary person in her own right and incredibly loving and affectionate and adored me. And what I did with it was, this couldn't be true. It
Mm.
just could not be true.
Because,
Because my daddy didn't love me.
and neither does anybody
So
else.
Nobody could love
Yeah.
me, right? And that was clear to me within 6 months of our relationship. We stayed together for 10 years.
Mm.
And I continued to find evidence
Mhm.
that what she said to me day after day after day after day was not true, because I could find evidence that it wasn't true. I was vigilant about it.
Now she's a liar.
So it's just, you know, what happens, and so.
So get us
I
back in the
told her
conversation.
that.
Yeah, you told her that.
I told her that. I told her that I never accepted her love. I never believed her. At which point she started crying. And I apologized for that. And I apologized for a number of things related to that. I can't remember them all right now, but so, I mean, you know.
And then what did she say?
She thanked me. She said, I never knew that. So I also never told her what was happening. I wasn't really sure myself. I was crying. She thanked me for that. Later, she apologized for some of the actions that she took that enabled me to have my story, some of her behaviors. So she apologized for her part in that breakdown. And
Did you create a new possibility with her?
well, her partner was also in the room, sitting there, and I had unfinished business with her as well. Because this is the person who pursued Sally, and I had a great deal of anger toward her. And I needed to fix that. So I told her that I didn't have any animosity toward her. I thanked her for what she had given us when we met her, which was a wonderful experience on a cruise. She's brilliant. She was a lecturer, and we both fell in love with her. She's just an incredible person. And I told her that that is who we experienced her as. I had nothing to apologize to her for, so there was no apology, but I wanted to be sure that she understood that I didn't hold anything against her, and that I looked forward to being friends with her someday. And I believe that was possible. She was also crying. We were all crying. And then we all got up and hugged each other and told each other we loved each other, and that we were going to be friends. So.
They can't hear you. Say it again.
It was really incredible, and I have to say that everything that I heard people talking about, from the forum, through the advanced course, through the seminar, and being extraordinary, happened in that moment. It was like this space that everybody talks about opened up, and the next thing I knew, Sally was connecting me to, well, first I was invited to come to the house and use the swimming pool anytime I wanted. Bring my dog so that our dogs could play together.
Wow.
And then the house is a historic home, and it's being bought by the city of Roswell. So the house is about to go through a transition, and she invited me to be on the board for the Friends of Mimosa Hall, which is the house, so that I could continue to participate in the historic life of the house in a significant way, because I had lived in it for 6 years and I knew its history. So, and there's more. I mean, there's a lot more that has been happening that is like just dropping down out of the sky, and I'm sitting here with stars in my eyes.